We're back.
We're back. Yes, we're so excited about the next couple of segments. And I think like this last segment was amazing. We got some really good feedback about that last panel discussion. And we have another panel coming here in a little bit too.
Oh yeah, this is. I mean, I've been excited about them all, but like when you talk about kind of community and culture, that's where we're coming up to. This is really, I guess, my wheelhouse, I guess you would say. And so just the diversity that we have on this panel, not like they weren't diverse before, but this should be very exciting conversations, I would say.
Should be. So we hope you lean into this next segment. I want to tell you a little bit about Chantel Green. She is the vice chairwoman of the executive committee of the Perce tribe. She was selected to serve on Idaho Governor Little's COVID-19 Financial Cares Committee, ensuring transparency and accountability in the use of federal funds to fight the coronavirus. She also served in Washington, D.C. on interior, environmental, and related agencies. She's done way more than I could ever tell you about. You really should connect with her online.
Yeah, that's what we ended up doing. We connected online, we connected on LinkedIn, and I was telling her about this event, this summit, and I was like, hey, we're looking for, somebody that's, tribally affiliated and in the energy, space and working on this transition. And she started telling me her background. I'm like, yep, and yep. All three check the boxes. You want to come and speak at this event? And she's like, yeah, I'm pretty sure. And then, we started talking a little bit more, and she's like, yep, we can do that. That should be no problem. And so it's just an honor and a privilege to have that perspective of what she has done and kind of where the tribe is going. So I think they're really forward thinking, in quite a few ways and perspectives. And so I'm really excited for Chantel Green to come on out.
Thank you, Jason. First, I wanted to give a big thanks to Jason Marmon for actually putting on this event. It's been really innovative and actually really wonderful to actually communicate with some of the people that are doing a lot of the work based on climate change crisis and coming up with solutions. So again, thank you very much for that introduction. Again, my name is Chantel Green. I am the former vice chairman of the Nez Perce Tribe Executive Committee now, and serving as the Nez Perce Tribe Department of Natural Resources Planner, and leading some of our energy developments for the Nez Perce Tribe. And I'm here today to share the Nez Perce Solar and Energy Initiative. Some of the topics that I'm going to be going over today are basically major projects that we're doing for the future and the one that we just finally completed. There we go. So first, our mission for the Nez Perce Tribe, formulation of our climate change and energy developments. We'll go over the history, the purpose, and the decisions behind those, and about our project with Revolution and pre-construction and the requirements that it took to achieve the project that we just completed. We'll go over the project stages, phase 1, 2, and then getting into our future developments for the Department of Energy. And then getting to our project goals and outcomes, which is based on the purpose for resiliency through energy independence, energy cost reduction, and providing renewable energy. And then finally getting into what this project really showed us and highlighting some of the women in solar that were introduced. And then what our tribe is also promoting right now, which is the Simpsons bill proposal. So our mission for our Climate Change and Energy Subcommittee, this is a brand new subcommittee. In the history of our tribe, we've never actually developed anything new besides what our actual base formulation of our tribe was in our constitution, our bylaws, and how we conduct. Nothing was actually ever newly created. So this is the first time that this has actually happened. So with this, basically, was to drive home the climate change advocacy for our tribe. So our Climate Change and Energy Subcommittee was formulated in the spring of 2019. And this subcommittee was to serve to address climate change, our natural resources issues, promote eco-justice, our vulnerability assessment, which our climate change coordinator, Stephanie Krantz, is working really hard on completing currently. Mitigation strategies are energy consumption, energy developments, environmental health, workforce training and development, and all efforts to take the tribe to being greener, utilizing sustainable methodology, and having sustainable solutions for and on behalf of the Nez Perce tribe. So this is a part of our history. Our council, again, being a former councilwoman and being able to advocate and educate some of the other members and the leaders had been a big, huge push for myself. So this actually shows a little bit of the history of educating and advocating and, you know, being able to educate our council people on new innovative thinking and actually moving forward. So our council decision to invest into renewable energy. We did pass a resolution out of our new climate change and energy subcommittee to our full NEPTIC, and our NEPTIC is identified as the Nez Perce Tribe Executive Committee, and that's our leadership table. And this is the beginning of our solar journey and energy independence, and this is just a very short clip of some of our council members just learning about solar and energy storage. That was just a short clip of just some of our council members actually learning. There was a lot that had to be learned. We did travel quite a bit. The company that we utilized for this project was Revolution, and they're based out of McCall, Idaho. So we did a couple of traveling trips to learn and be educated on what the actual system looked like, the purpose, and how to actually complete that. And then making the decision to actually create a microgrid from this. This was all based on our purpose that our tribe promotes. So our purpose for this project was seeking true sustainability and resiliency by becoming energy independent through the deployment of solar power and storage to the manufacture of light commercial and residential scale systems. And what we did for this project was based on service learning model, and that was to create workforce training and development for tribal members in all facets of renewable energy education to include the design, engineering, installations of solar panels and energy storage, while promoting renewable energy, partnership, and collaboration efforts to offset the usage of hydropower. So about this project, these were the steps that we took to actually get from the beginning to end. So our Nez Perce Tribe Energy Initiative was passed and approved. So this is basically education that we would, our purpose is also in phase 2 right now is to actually educate other tribes and how to actually duplicate exactly what we did. And a lot of our conversations during this Carbon Summit was actually learning and again educating folks who don't work in tribal with tribes or have any kind of experience with it. So educating again on how to actually utilize the tribes that are near you within your jurisdiction and educating the other tribes on how to actually duplicate the work that was done here. So this, again, we passed a resolution the Nez Perce Tribe Energy Initiative was passed and approved resolution to go and enter into a power purchase agreement with Revolution LLC, Cleaner, Smarter Energy, to develop the solar energy system that we did. And the main purpose was that, again, when we advocate for, the solar and people learning about it, and, there's some takeaways for a power purchase agreement. Our intent was actually to go outside of that 5 years. So because it's so brand new, our tribe is learning about it. So we're actually trying to, get behind it and be the leader in moving forward and being able to be the guru on this and our complexities for the tribe, the sovereignty, and then being able to utilize the outside companies as the expert, but to learn and to actually be able to duplicate so that we can actually teach it as well. So going into a power purchase agreement is the decision that we made to enter into at the end of it, owning our own system. From the system, we created a mini microgrid. 2, it was based on our budget, our design, which matched our purpose. 3, we identified funding sources and then went over our utility billing. And then 4, we began to our pre-construction and our requirements, and then to our start date. So with this, we created a microgrid, solar system creation, and some of the sites that we had selected originally were 3 sites were selected for the initial deployment of photovoltaic arrays that had easily accessible rooftops, allowing for rapid solar, and totaling actually 307 installed PV. And we have 4 sites on here, but end up finding out that we had 2 buildings set up on the same system. So going through our utility bills, we found out, looking at it, we had our administration building and our community center tied up into one system, and then our wastewater treatment plant, which is a huge utility cost, as well as our Boys and Girls Club buildings. Okay, and this was our budget that we were working with for this power purchase agreement, which is $1.4 million project. And at the bottom there, that number has doubled, and this is basically for the employees. We're close to 400,000. That's just basically reinvesting back into the community. This is supporting tribal members that were not working in the middle of the pandemic, did not know about solar energy, and we were able to utilize the service learning and create workforce training and development. That was a reinvestment right back into our community to support jobs. So this is the funding source for this project. Was our CARES funding was utilized for this project. Moving forward, for our own projects and for other tribes or outside community, we can utilize grants that are available through the state, federal, and organizations like Grid Alternatives. And then also investors. We had a lot of conversations in the last 2 days about investors and loan opportunities, which we will be going after for some of our larger projects that are in the future are for investors. Again, when I say utilize your tribes that are close to you, they do have access to funding that you might not have. And you might be able to partner and collaborate, and it could all be based on, what their culture is, their beliefs, and they might match yours. And they do have, access to funding, investors. Our tribes now, especially with the administration kind of changing and molding into what it is now, especially promoting renewable energy within a year, a lot has changed. And the investor pieces are looking at, tax credits and utilizing a tribe that's maybe near you. A large majority of our reservation boundary areas now have been identified as opportunity zones. So for this project, these were some of our main requirements. Some tribes do have a TARO, which is our Tribal Employee Rights Office. Some tribes that are larger do have this, some tribes may not. But for our tribe, we did have to get through our TARO compliance to get to our pre-construction meeting, and then to utilize that for our tribal recruitment. Our second requirements were also to maintain Revolutions, which is a state LLC. To get to our utility agreements, the ordering, and then the final assessment. And then that brings us up to our requirements that we had to complete for requirement 3, which is our subcontracting for electrical work. This is our timeline that we were working with. We started in September of 2020. We got to our pre-construction meeting set with our tarot for the compliance part, our recruitment, and then to getting to our start date of the beginning of site work. And that brought us up to October, which at that point in time, we had predicted 18 tribal members to be hired for the first month, and we exceeded that prediction with 38 new tribal members learning solar installation. So by November, our solar panels were laid, starting electrical work, and then our tarot numbers, basically tribal members that were being influenced and getting behind solar and renewable energy, we were up to 50. So that was very, very quickly. I want to say it maybe took about 2 days of recruitment, and we didn't have 18, but I think we had 25, and that's quite a bit. So we also end up having to create a wait list for that. So by December, our project was almost complete, and we were starting into phase 2. So with this, phase 1 is basically everything we were just discussing. Phase 1 was our first initial project, creating the microgrid, and the purpose of it was really to gain support and inspire for future projects. We definitely did that. Moving forward, we're in phase 2 right now with the development of the Perce Energy, which is the Department of Energy to maintain future projects. Continue workforce training and development, and for future development, continue renewable education, deployment of our solar army for future installations, and promoting sustainability. Here's our project goals and outcome. So our 2020 energy costs for our administration and our Piney-Watts Community Center building it's over $5,000 a month. And these are monthly projections for our utility bills. Our wastewater treatment plant is close to $42,000. And our Boys and Girls Club is at $1,500. So right now we are continuing collection of the data to get a true accounting of the reduction in the storage amounts. And with that, we have our 2021 reduced energy costs for our administration building and our Boys and Girls Club buildings. We have completely zeroed those out and now actually accumulating economics in the amount of close to $6,000. Our wastewater treatment plant, we're still working on that one. That one was a larger amount to actually take care of, being that our wastewater treatment plant actually takes care of not only the tribe, but it takes care of all of the city of Lapwai. Our entire area is actually tied into our tribal wastewater treatment plant system. So we're actually taking care of the entire area, both tribal and non-tribal. So it took a little bit more work we're getting to be that reduction. So we actually ended up shifting over some of our excess panels that we had from our administration building over to our wastewater treatment plant, and we had about 130 excess panels that actually were shifted over. And then 30 of those panels are actually going to some of our other projects that are involving for agriculture. And this photo is just basically, it was just from the Lewiston Morning Tribune, which did capture, in our area, we don't have a lot of solar and there are no solar companies. So moving forward for the tribe, not just to lead for other tribes, but for our entire Lewis-Clark Valley area, it's been a big thing and we've gotten a lot of promotion for it. So this was our tribe, Nez tribe into solar age. The Nez tribe flips and switch on 770 solar panels, which is the first step in its effort to fight climate change and move toward energy independence. This is what I was explaining earlier. We're still collecting some of our data. This is for the employment. Again, our numbers were pretty high on the re-entering that into the economy. But for our Tribal Employee Rights Office, these are some of the things that we're looking to answer. This was a big thing for our Eternal programs and how it actually boosted up our Eternal program and help assist them to increase their participation numbers. So these are the questions that we're looking for to be able to answer: is how many participants were prior going into our Tribal Employee Rights Office? how many current participants went to solar, how many were new participants. At this time, there were 35 and only one had solar experience. And how many were women? We had 8 new women introduced in the solar industry. And how many are on our TerraWiz wait list currently, basically waiting for an opening. That will be based on funding, so we'll be able to move forward and hopefully start taking on, which we have 16 right now. This is another Eternal program, again, when we're educating and actually looking to duplicate to other tribes. So if there are other tribes listening, folks, this is another program that we were able to utilize. This is our Public Law 102-477. This is our 477 program, and looking for it to boost up our certification. This is where we get federal funding that actually promotes Indian Employment, Training and Related Services Demonstration Act. And these are some of the advantages of tribes. So again, some tribes that are larger or a little bit more established might have a 7-7 program and some might not. If they don't, this is the information that you need to actually move forward. This is something you can tap into by just being a tribe. So this basically, the participation numbers have been reported several advantages. So improved client services, better utilization of program staff, and how our 477 program helped our solar installers and increased participation numbers to our program was through education, the employment, training, and supportive services activities used to reduce barriers and enable eligible participants to work towards self-sufficiency. And it also supports job creation and provides opportunities. So with this project, we were able to boost up the participation numbers to our Eternal program, which the year before it only serviced 4, and this year with just 1 project, we were able to increase that number to 26 new participants. A lot of our conversations in the last 2 days, I know you guys heard another solar presentation yesterday, and a lot of the conversation, or at least even the questions, were how do you maintain it, especially after the life expectancy of the solar panels, and how do you maintain? This is one of our solutions to kind of get ahead of the curve while we are actually creating our own LLC for the Nez Perce Tribe Solar and Utility Company, is that we're getting behind the solar training and certification. So this is our course progress, and we have 2 tracks right now, and we are utilizing currently the SEI, and this is our solar business, basically curriculum. And through this project, with the workforce training and development, the hands-on learning that our tribal members are receiving, this is the update. Right now, our OSHA 10 and RE 100 are complete for all current Indigenous solar employees. And on-the-job training is continuing for installation, sale, service, and maintenance. So they're continuing to learn everything about every single one of those topics. And we are creating a training program right now in the Lewis-Clark Valley. So this is how we're going to be able to maintain it for future projects and to continue it. Creating the training program for the National Board of Certified Energy Practitioners, the NABCEP, that was discussed yesterday. The solar certification for continued education, working with Lewis-Clark State College Workforce Training and Development, and creating a specialized curriculum career pathway. Also working with the Bonneville Environmental Foundation for K through 12 renewable education that will also utilize the career pathway into solar and energy coaching curriculum. So this is a lot of our focus. So our green economy, green circular economy thinking, we are looking at 70 new wind solar to make up 70% of the U.S. generating capacity in 2021. So what our purpose here is to actually do a connection of our projects with agriculture and our wine. So in our area, because of our climate science data actually does have projection in our Lewis-Clark Valley, is that our wine viticulture is actually going to be leading in the state of Idaho. So the development, we are already basically getting behind that, developing our own wineries, that we have 48,000 for acreage for agriculture land. So we're already in a contract to actually start developing. We're laying the infrastructure for our winery this year in 2021 and doing our ordering with the intent to actually start growing by 2022 and having a product by 2023 and 2024. And then our next one is also our hemp. We are also going to be promoting our hemp. We do have greenhouses that we also row for. We do have a plan, so we changed over our tribal code to accept hemp cultivation and an enterprise. We now have a USDA plan that is approved, so we will be moving forward as an enterprise in hemp growing and operating with the intent to also create, again, we always get behind what we can do for our individual tribal members. So with our hemp cultivating and being the operator or the permitter is basically to open up the doors to our individual tribal members to be their own owner operator, grow opportunity, and that's what that creates, promoting small business. And then new infrastructure. So, it's great to go retrofit and do everything that we can, but again, it's always promoted when we can actually, so we're building in large capacities now, so we're actually looking to implement solar and sustainable engineering into all of our new infrastructure. The next number that we do promote is the a dam removal and breaching, and this is for our salmon recovery. And that number that had been given was 5,311. A lot of conversations about electrification. So at least for the Nez Perce tribe, we're looking at 50% less fuel consumption to transition to electrification. So with that, we've actually already installed 2 car charging stations identified as ChargePoint. Those are the fastest charging stations for electrical vehicles that are also universal and not just Tesla models. And we have 2 of those at our Clearwater River Casino. The next 2 are currently being installed at our Kamiah Casino, and then with the intent to actually expand to all of our enterprises to be able to provide that to the entire area between Kamiah, Lewiston, and all the way down to where we're at here in close to Boise. We have enterprises in McCall as well, and being able to provide electrification for everybody across the board and making it easier for everybody else to transition over. So here is our dive brief. We are doing a lot of education. I know a lot of people actually have questions on solar and getting our battery storage, which was matching our intent was for the resiliency piece. So the battery storage capacity is set to quadruple over the next year and adding 4.3 gigawatts for battery storage. 2.3 of new solar projects are now built in tandem with our energy storage like ours. And at the current rate, wind, solar, and storage could overtake conventional technology as the leading source of generation by the early 2030s. So again, a large majority of some of the conversations that we had for the climate crisis to actually come up with the solutions, solar systems, and what happens when partnership and collaboration come together. Solar system success. Our solar army created the foundation. With this project, service learning was utilized, tribal resiliency was created, dam removal or breaching promoted, salmon recovery promoted, ecotourism promoted, and green economy promoted. And at this time, we'll go ahead and watch our video.
My name is Chantel Green. I am the former vice chairman of the Nez Perce Tribe Executive Committee. We had originally started out with a partnership actually between myself and the climate change coordinator, Stephanie Krantz.
When I first started this job, the tribe had just been through this horrible drought and fish kill and wildfire situation. One of the first things that we did was do surveys to understand what the community really wanted. The number one thing that people said that they wanted was renewable energy. And the number two thing that they said was they wanted protection for water and education.
Yeah, so Stephanie Kranz and I were involved in a smart energy group program headquartered in Boise, Idaho. And we were sitting in our umpteenth meeting for the year with this group and other groups, and going in and out of governor's offices and senators' offices. And we realized it was just a lot of meetings and a lot of talk. And I texted her in the middle of the meeting and I said, "Are you tired of talking?" And she said, "Yes." And I said, "Let's make something happen."
It is hard to understate the impacts of climate change to tribal members. It impacts salmon, and the Nimipu are salmon people.
Within a week, we were sitting down with Chantel Green, the vice chairman of the tribe.
The partnership developed into the direction that we decided to take for solar energy.
We're going to act. We're tired of talking, and let's put some panels on some roofs. One of our goals when we came here was to hire tribal members to do the installation.
To hire all tribal staff to do the work, to build the capacity here to do more solar projects, having meaningful work where they're doing something about a problem that's affecting the things that they care about the most is really healing.
My name is Vernon Holt. I lived in Lapway, almost all my life. At first, I didn't want to do it because I'm kind of afraid of heights, but I started getting used to it, and then after that, I just started flying through it. And
I was actually in the mountains hunting, and my uncle called me. He's like, "Get down here." He's like, "Last day they're hiring," so I drove down here and I got the job. But
I was a drafter before, so I did designs for solar in the past.
I came out here kind of expecting to be on a labor job, but I found out that I was actually being trained for any profession I wanted in solar panel industry.
I actually wanted to start my own business, and a friend sent me an email that they were looking for people to do solar install, so I'd figure I'd try it out, and before I actually went to school for it, see if I liked it.
I was excited to be here every day on the job, and it seems like every day we've kind of are learning something new out here.
I'd like to see panels on homes and be free from all this financials.
When I got on the project, I really bought on to the project manager's vision, and because I also advocate for dam removal.
I love the idea of, going green and clean renewable energy, which is, the future's going to be anyways, so you might as well get on it now.
The best case scenario, as far as I'm concerned, is if the tribe was not only self-sufficient, but that they could have their own utility company.
hopefully expect more training, more education, and more panels to put up.
I hope that we do end up starting a company and there'll be more employment for people here on the reservation.
it's definitely worthwhile. But just going off our own power, I like that.
It would be a bigger income than the casino, and that income fluctuates. If we had our own electrical company, that income wouldn't fluctuate, and it would be huge for the tribe and all the tribal members.
This is something that I see the tribe setting precedent for other tribes to do as well, as renewable energy and taking our power back.
It's good that we're outside working, but the other part, we're actually doing something good for the environment, for our people, and yeah, if the jobs keep coming in, I would definitely stick with it, and I'd encourage other people to get into it too.
It could also help with bringing back the fish, which is important to our cultural beliefs. We'd like to put in many panels and bring back many, many salmon.
It is long overdue that the tribe could take a leadership role in providing an alternative energy source to replace hydropower, because that's what we're fighting now.
If they could just see the vision of where this can go, the opportunity, you know, I would like to see that people get invested in it emotionally, not just financially, and back it. And even if it takes time, like it took years to go from the tent to building the new casino and the lodge. It could take years, but don't let it go. The opportunity is too huge.
Getting other tribes and other local economies to switch over their energy source will take time. It's not going to happen overnight. So
You do have the right partnerships and collaborations moving forward. That's where you can see these projects come into fruition. And now we are going to be the leading in energy storage and development on behalf of our tribes here in Idaho.
Thank you for that. And next, so our tribe really is behind looking to help duplicate some of the work that we're doing now, and some of the steps that we're taking forward. What we are working on now is some of our future projects are our senior buildings. And those are for our elders, both for the Lapwai and Kamiai area, our USDA building, our Kamiai mill site, which will also be a large one, the winery development at our Stedman property, our ZIMS, which we would love to do geothermal and solar, which would be great, and all of our enterprises, and including our hatcheries. We also lead in hatchery and salmon reproducing, and then being able to duplicate to the other tribes. And a lot of the work that we're moving forward now is in the reduction of CO2 emissions. And we do promote, you know, the 2016 dam removal and breaching number from BPA. That number comes from them, which is 5,311 megawatts of solar, and constitutes to 2.14 million solar panels installed, which is a goal for us. So the 2021 Idaho U.S. Rep. Simpson's plan calls for $10 billion to spend on renewable energy to offset dam removal. So doing our part for this. The Nest Perce Energy LLC creation, that's yet to be proposed. We're working on that right now to sustain future growth in the solar industry and utility. Our net zero energy efficiency plans are currently being developed as well. And with that, building partnership and expanding. So with this project, we did promote a lot of the solar, women in solar, and that just kind of ended up being a new development that we didn't actually know or anticipate. But we added 8 women to the solar industry with this first project. So we definitely did, you know, got behind the justice, equality, diversity, and inclusion. And with that, I did want to say a couple of things. We definitely did provide diversity, inclusion, and provided an equal opportunity for those who might not have been given a chance. Our cultural, social, economic ties do set us apart, and happy to say that we are breaking down those barriers. With this project, we hired all Indigenous staff to include 8 women, and during this project, much was learned. However, all phenomenologies of everyone working on this project shared the same important perspective of the natural and cultural nexus. So the rights of Mother Earth and some guiding principles are power. Power and place, there's work to do, resources, land, water, air, and natural and cultural nexuses and progress. There's always power in places and knowledge to be acquired. Wisdom sits in the places, and traditions in specific places are all of value to different people. How we use power in place or can learn to understand that power in places are sacred sites determine who we are as a people. How we show respect for Mother Earth as she provides to our duty to respect and replace what we can. Not to misuse or overuse is a large part of that respect. And that's work to be done, is the idea that what has already been done can be reversed or repaired with innovation. In that sense, respect to give back what we take means that we are preserving the earth for generations to also be to live and learn from. Our resources are all a part of our connectedness, and explains that we are all related and have ties to nature just the same. Land and water, air is all provided by Mother Earth and are to be respected and preserved, because if we don't respect it, we may lose it one day. This is our cultural climate that threatens our ways of life. All water and air are essential to our survival, and Mother Earth has its own way of showing what we need are connected. We live and we die to return to the earth. It's the natural law to protect and respect and take care of the earth. Progress through experience or phenomenology is to live and learn from what Mother Earth naturally provides. Learning is not expensive and is provided through our everyday environment. Learning is a decision, and we respect the rights of Mother Earth are up to us. This is all we know. This is what we know as our natural and cultural nexus, or what we identify as traditional ecological knowledge. Thank you.